What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video, and today I figured it was finally time to show you guys my 2025 game room tour. Now, I've uploaded a few videos here and there with some of my regular videos and some of my shorts where I've noticed that people are asking for a room tour. Now, I've definitely done one already last year, so usually I recommend that video for them to check out. But considering now that I have no room tour whatsoever for this year, I finally figured I finally should just get this out of the way, show off the room tour and all that stuff. Now, keep in mind, I've done a little bit of some downsizing here and there. I still have the game, still have the memorabilia, but I've just decided what goes out on display and what does not go out on display. So, no, I did not sell any games. No, I did not trade anything in. I still have the exact same games as last year. They're just not out on display. Also, keep in mind too, when I do this room tour, I'm literally going to be doing this all in one take. So if I skip over words, fumble on stuff, all that type of stuff, just keep in mind that I'm literally going to be doing this video all in one take. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video and take a look at what exactly is going on right here in the game room of 2025, right after the intro. So I think I'll start off this room tour right here, right at the opening of this room. Right here, I've got some signed autographs from multiple different voice actors. Very fortunate to get these. If you're wondering how I got them off of a site called Streamly. If you have not heard of Streamly, they basically are a platform where different actors, voice actors, all that wonderful stuff can give you autographed art prints and all that for a price. So I ordered a few for the game room. These little things right here I got from Hobby Lobby, and I got them for a pretty nice little discount. And then, of course, right here at the opening, I've got my Nintendo DS games along with my 3DS games. If you're wondering why I have this cloth right here, sometimes I do open up the windows in here, and I just like to protect all my stuff from fading and sunlight. Also, with the cardboard right there, it's a bit of a long story. Basically, I had a little problem with these shelves. I'll link a video that you guys can watch if you're really curious as to why I decided to do that with some of my shelves. Right here is my Sega Dreamcast collection. Right now I've got about 180 some games. I don't remember the exact amount. I'm going for a full North American set. So hopefully plan to get that done by the end of this year. Here are some Series X games. Then, of course, we've got our Game Boy Advance games. This little Hot Wheel actually came with a Hot Wheel game that I got for the Xbox Series X. And funny enough, I just keep them right there just because. Some Game Boy Color games. We got a little OG Game Boy game right there. And then, of course, here are some of my Xbox One games. I do have more. You'll just see in a little bit. Now, this is a section of the game room that you guys do see pretty frequently, which is my original Xbox collection. I have about 313 original Xbox games, not including variants. So many great games on this console. I heavily neglected it when I was younger, and it helps that the games are so cheap and they're so much fun too. And then as we go right down here, here are my Nintendo Wii games. I have a bunch of games out that I would love to play. Also games that I'm either trying to get replacement cases for, or they're missing the manual, and I just would like to make them complete in box, so I just have them out right here. And of course, as we go right down here, here's my PS5 collection. Most of these games I got from a lot off of eBay, and I do have one import title right here, which is the Klonoa collection. I forget the exact title of it, but it has Klonoa 1 and 2. Big Klonoa fan, so I wanted to have a physical copy of Klonoa. And unfortunately, in order to do that, I had to buy an import copy. And PS5 is region free. Now, with this section of the game room, I have a lot of different figurines, collectibles, all that wonderful stuff. Right here is a shelf where I keep extra storage for different games that I don't want to have out at the moment. That is a cloth poster for Modern Warfare 2 from 2022 or 2023. I forget the exact year. But you do get to see this section of the game room relatively frequently, but not the whole thing. This is actually part of my light tree that I've got right over here. And I do that so that way I can make the lighting even better for a lot of these videos. Yes, I do have an Ouya, but it is in the box. And no, I don't play it. But yes, right here, this is the section of the game room where I've got lots of different figurines and lots of different collectibles. Now this right here is inside of my storage closet. As you can see, I've got some game soundtracks, lots of different controllers, lots of different memory cards. I like to keep all these different things right here in these plastic tubs. They're so convenient. You can stack them on top of each other and they're pretty durable. I'm going to leave a link right in the description of this video. So that way, in case if you guys decide that you want to get one of these tubs, you certainly can. And I definitely recommend them to you guys. Now with this section of the game room, I've got lots of different collectibles, figurines, Funko Pops, you name it. I only get collectibles for games and franchises that I like. So if it's a series that I don't like, I'm just not adding it into the collection. Right here in the game room, I have a bunch of movies. Before I got into video games very heavily, I was a big fan of different movies, of course, different TV shows. I literally have everything from my favorite cartoons growing up to different comedies, sitcoms, even documentaries, all kinds of stuff. Of course, I have a lot of anime, huge fan of anime. Of course, right here is my overflow of movies, and I do have even more that you'll see soon. Now right here is my Xbox 360 collection. I have over 500 Xbox 360 games. Of course, I have all the essentials of what I want to play and would consider playing out on display. And then of course, as we go right to the bottom right here, I've got some PlayStation 2 games. Again, I don't have all of them out. I have almost 600 PlayStation 2 games. And again, just like the Xbox 360, I have pretty much the essentials out, mostly. These are more cloth posters of different games that used to be advertised at GameStop. I've got Sonic Frontiers, Resident Evil, a few others as well. And then, of course, I've got these Pokemon trading card game lunch boxes right here. And I gotta say, I like having them. They look super cool, and they're a great addition to the game room. Now, right on the other side of the Xbox 360 shelf are my PS3 games, 64 games, Super Nintendo games. I definitely have more of those. My PS3 collection is not alphabetized at the moment. I just haven't had the time to organize it. So right now, everything's just kind of scattered. Right here is my art print of Peter Cullen, which is signed. Not video game related, but he is there because I don't really have anywhere else to put him at the moment. And of course, right below the PS3 games are my PSP games. PSP has so many fun games that I do enjoy. It's very rare that I actually pick up PSP games, and I definitely want to change that. And then right below those are some overflow of extra PSP and PS3. Right next to the PS3 games are my Switch games. Over there are replacement cases for Switch games. In case I find a Switch game that's in a beaten up case, I can fix it. My only Switch 2 game. When it comes to PC games, I don't go out of my way to collect for PC games, but I do keep PC games that I do like and all that wonderful stuff. In the corner right there are some original Game Boy games. I've got Pokemon Yellow, and the back is Pokemon Blue, Mary Kate and Ashley. Don't really feel like playing that. And Travel Guide. But right below the PC games are my Genesis games. I said earlier this year that it was my goal to try to beef up the Genesis collection, make it more awesome. I think I'm doing an alright job. I've mostly bought different lots and made some separate purchases. Most of the sports games have come from lots over the years and recently. And then right here is a little thing right here that allows me to play Super Famicom games on an American Super Nintendo. I think it's a great way to play Famicom games if you don't want to do any modding. I'll do a link in the video description if you feel like picking those up or picking one up. Then, of course, here's my overflow of movies. Like I said, I'm a big movie guy, but right now I've got the movies right there just for now. Right here is my almost complete N-Gage set. I only need one more game to finish the set, which is Asphalt Urban GT2. I'm looking for a retail release instead of the Gold Master kit. If I can find a copy of that, I will finally have a complete North American set for the N-Gage. Right here is my PS1 collection. I've really been enjoying collecting for the PS1 this year. There's a lot of great games. I don't know, I've just really been enjoying it. Of course, here are my extra Super Nintendo games that I mentioned I had earlier, but that's not even all of them. Of course, here is the overflow of PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 is just so cheap to collect for. I love it. If you're ever on a budget and you want to go into game collecting, I always recommend PS2. Then right here are some UK demo discs. You're probably wondering why these are upside down like that, and that is because when you take them out, they look like that. Then, of course, we've got some Japanese import PS2 games. It's very strange that I found this one for only 99 cents at my local thrift store. Even got the tag right there. King of Fighters, funny enough, came in a lot of other PS2 games I bought. Of course, I'm a huge Puyo fan, so I did get the Puyo games, even though I don't have a Japanese PS2 and mine's not modded. Here are my NES games. I want to beef up the NES set, but, you know, I've got some killer, some filler in there. I'm sure you guys know exactly which games I'm talking about. Overflow of Xbox 360 games. Right here are all import titles from either Europe or Japan. A couple Funko Pops right there. More Nintendo 64 games. Finally, the end of my Super Nintendo collection. Then right here is my extra Nintendo DS games that I've got unpacked at the moment. These are the ones I don't really feel like playing, so they're over here for now. Made this shelf empty for extra games coming soon. This is a charge dock for the Xbox 360 controllers. Got some Switch controllers right there. Some miscellaneous big box games and collector sets and games and all that other jazz. Neo Geo MVS games that I've got right here. And then that is that for that part of the game room. Now this is a section of the game room I do enjoy, my complete Wii U set. I have all the North American releases for the Wii U, except for all the variants. Then of course, as we go right here, here's my GameCube collection. I have over 200 GameCube games, not including variants. Then of course, as we go right below this drum kit for Guitar Hero World Tour, more GameCube games, my complete Hyperscan set. Right here is my copy, forgive me for a moment, of X-Men. when you buy a new copy of the Hyperscan, it literally comes in this white sleeve, and I want the game to have more protection, so I put it in this case right here. Then right there are the cards that come with X-Men. PS Vita games, pretty expensive to collect for, so I don't really have very many Vita games. I have pretty much almost all the Vita games that I want. I don't know if I would ever go for a complete set for it, just because it is really expensive to get. And then, of course, here are my Atari 2600 games. Some of them are alphabetized, others are not. They're just kind of scattered over there. I don't really play the 2600, although there are some games I do want to try on it. But I'll get to it one day. Now with this section of the game room, I've got different plushies and extra game boxes, collectibles. Usually I've got this section covered up because usually when I do open up the windows, these are one of the first things that get into the sunlight. So I do want to protect these from fading. But right here are a few of my plushies that I've got. And then right here, I've got miscellaneous collectibles, different handhelds. Then right here on these shelves, I've got different game consoles that I either have variants for or just don't have hooked up to play at the moment. These are all special edition Xbox 360 controllers, most of which are Halo themed. Then right here, I've got a lot of different magazines of Xbox magazine, Game Informer, some Nintendo Power. At the end, I've got different art books. Right here is an art book for Atelier Ryza, kind of hidden right there. And that right here is my Model 1 Sega Saturn with some Saturn controllers right there. More handhelds and more collectibles right here. I really like displaying my handhelds on these little like art displays for like pictures and all that stuff. I remember Pete Dorr recommended doing that with a video of his, and I took his advice and I did just that. Of course, I've got the Xbox 360, PlayStation 1, a silver GameCube, an indigo GameCube. Got this one for only $5 at a yard sale 8 years ago now at this point. Then of course, as we go down right here, lots of different strategy guides, cheat code books, different novels for games. I got a lot of these strategy guides at a dollar bookstore that was kind of near me, where all the books were just $1. And I actually enjoy reading through strategy guides. I used to buy a bunch of them when I was younger to help me with games. Of course, if you need help with a game, you just go on YouTube now. But I really do enjoy collecting strategy guides for games that I have. Right above the windows, I've got some more video game prints and some autograph displays of different voice actors and actresses that I've got kind of over the years. Very happy to have those in the game room. Kind of gives it that extra personal touch, which I do enjoy. Lots of different collectibles and figurines. I got a 25th anniversary of Optimus Prime right there. He goes there just because I do not have the room and I'm a huge Transformers fan. Right here are more art prints of different games. Final Fantasy VII, Gears of War 1, two games that I have a lot of respect for. Then right here are some collector's editions of miscellaneous JRPGs of like Fairy Fencer, Disgaea, Neptunia. This is actually Fallout New Vegas, so there is the exception when it comes to JRPGs. Right here are my Complete in Box Game Boy Advance games. I don't collect Complete in Box for the Game Boy Advance anymore. I collect cart only. If you really are curious as to why I collect cart only now, it's not just because of price. There's other reasons to it too. I'll link a video where you guys can check it out on screen. Right here are different boxes where I've got replacement cases in case I need them for different movies, games, all that stuff. These are empty cases with manuals, so I could get to just buy some of these games just disc only or cart only, and then they're complete in box. And then right here are games where I do have the game inside, and I do have the case, I just don't have the manual. And then this right here, this copy of Fear, is literally just a dummy disc in case I need to resurface something, in case I need to resurface a game that's rare and expensive. I just use that in case I make sure that, hey, nothing gets damaged or broken or whatever. More miscellaneous collector's editions. Again, most of them are Neptunia and some JRPGs in there. Adjacent to the JRPGs are different figurines I've gotten over the years. I'm not going to lie, it is dusty at the moment, as you can probably tell right here. Funny enough, right before I did this room tour, this was the only section I didn't clean off, so oh well. Here are my Xbox One games and more PS3 games. Here are my complete unboxed Nintendo 64 games, 32X games, and Super Famicom games. Again, most of these I got before I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be collecting complete unboxed for cart games anymore, with the exception of 32X and Super Famicom. Right here is part of my music collection. I love a lot of different genres and different artists of music. A lot of these I've gotten over the years, either at thrift stores or Amazon, eBay, you name it. Yeah, I just love all kinds of music. Here's my PS4 collection. I packed away a bunch of PS4 games recently, so I've only got the essentials out of games that I would want to play sometime within the near future. And of course, right here is my Sega Saturn collection. As you can clearly tell, I've got even more Saturn games behind these Saturn games. Here are my Japanese imports for the Sega Saturn. And then right here is a Mega Drive game, which is Puyo Puyo. Import Game Gear games, which are Madao Monogatari 3 and Puyo Puyo 2. And then below that, I've got more movies and TV shows and more collectibles. This is actually a special edition of Madao Monogatari 1, 2, and 3 for the PC. Have it new and sealed at the moment. And then you're probably wondering, why do I have this? And that just measures the humidity and the temperature in the room. The humidity isn't perfect, but it's nothing to be alarmed about. Below those, I even have even more CDs to show off in my collection. I'm not going to show all of them, but just the general state of, yeah, I've got all these CDs. As you can tell, I am a huge fan of hip-hop and rap, so you are going to be seeing a lot of hip-hop and rap CDs in my collection. But I do listen to other genres too, as mentioned earlier. I do enjoy a little bit of something from every genre of music. And right here is where I play all my video games. I've got a corkboard where I display all kinds of different video game themed merchandise right here. And then here are some Hallmark video game ornaments. Right here, I've got my black Wii U in the back, my Switch, different controllers for the Wii U and the Switch, Wii, all that PlayStation 4, all that wonderful stuff. Of course, here's the actual Wii U, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 3 Super Slim. We've got Vault Boy, which is charging the PS5 controller at the moment, Xbox headset. I like to have this lamp right here. It helps me feel relaxed whenever I'm playing and enjoying myself. I'm currently playing Black Ops 6 with a buddy of mine, so that's out at the moment. Here's the Switch 2, which I don't know if I'm going to be buying any games for anytime soon. I'm sure you guys will know Y if you've been following current events. Series X, the PlayStation 2 Fat model, and then here is the Xbox 360. But yes, right here is where the magic happens whenever I'm playing different consoles. Of course, if I ever want to play anything like the Dreamcast or the Saturn or anything else, I usually just unplug one of these consoles and then just hook it up whenever I feel like it. Now, a section that I almost forgot right here in the game room is this section right here, where I've got even more cables and accessories in my favorite tubs, where I get to pull out and slide back in. And I've got everything, almost everything, in different Ziploc bags where I say what console it's for, and I just take out the cables, plug everything up, and I'm good to go. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.